Welcome to our studio. Today I'm working on a painting of the Carmel mission with a sculpture of Father Serra. He has been canonized by the Catholic Church, and this is a commission for when they have made him a saint. Serra, it's for a very dear friend of mine who's an avid collector of both Jack's and my work. And this piece is just a special piece that he wants me to do honoring the sainthood of Father Serra. The sky has been painted with the background. The blue portion of the sky is, the upper part is white plus cobalt blue. As it comes toward the horizon, the sky becomes a little lighter and a little greener. And so that portion of the sky is white plus phthalo blue. My clouds are the dark shadows are my mud, which is 2 parts of ultramarine blue and 1 part of alizarin crimson. And that's mud plus white. Then I've added a little bit more alizarin crimson into these mixtures here. Then the highlights on the clouds are actually a little mix of a touch of this dark color plus a little more alizarin crimson plus cadmium red light plus cadmium orange, and there's quite a bit of white in that, and that gives me that sunlit portion of the clouds. Jack and I lived in Carmel, and it's just such a beautiful area, and there's a lot of fog, and a lot of times not far from the mission, probably a quarter of a mile is the ocean, maybe not even that far. And that fog drifts in, and then when the sun breaks through, it just brings a shot of light across the mission, just brushes the clouds. It's just beautiful. And so that is what I'm attempting to capture here. Today we're going to be working on Monterey cypress trees back here in the background. So I'm using a mixture of, this is ultramarine blue plus a little bit of phthalo blue in there, plus some cadmium orange and white. And these trees, these I want to be a cooler green. I don't want them to be real dark because I want those trees to drop back. These trees up here are going to be more intense in value. Now there will be some darks in these, but not as intense as the palm trees in the foreground. Love these Monterey cypress. And what they do is they provide a nice dark behind the mission, so that then that light will pop even more onto the top of the mission there. I'm using a bright brush. It's a square brush, and I love these because I can just take the corner of the brush and make detail, but then I can use the flat edge to make larger. I'm leaving some openings in there. I'm going to come back. I have saved my sky color, so I'll come back and put my little sky holes in there. Now I'm going to make me a little mixture of my phthalo blue plus white plus just a touch of that green, just to kind of give us some different color in there, just some cool, nice color surprises back in there. Clean my brush. I wipe my brush a lot to keep the color clean. So now you can start seeing some of that phthalo blue. That just gives a nice cool back there. It makes it drop back. These are just beautiful trees on a day when the breeze is blowing and you're near them. You just hear the wind in the tops of those trees. It's just beautiful. Monterey Peninsula and that part of California is absolutely amazing. We could see whales outside of our front window. We were fortunate enough to rent a home that was right on the ocean, and just a dream place. But we realized that area was so cold, even in the summertime, that we couldn't walk on the beach without having to bundle up. And I loved to drag my feet in the water and all. And I'd brave it. I'd go barefooted and drag my toes in the water and all. But oh my goodness gracious, it was cold. So we moved from there to Longboat Key, Florida, which was quite a bit warmer. Jack and I were just wimps. We loved this area. Oh my gosh, we'd have seals and sea lions, and one day the waves were so big that the road came between us and the water and the ocean. One day the waves were so big it washed up a little seal right in our front yard. He was so precious. His mother was out in the water calling for him, and he just found his way back over the rocks down to the water. We'd have sea otters down there, and you could hear them clacking. They'd dive down and get the abalone out of the seaweed and the kelp that was under the water. And then they'd lay on their backs and put that on their stomach and have a rock, and then they would, either a rock or another abalone, and they would just, you could hear them clacking to break the shell open. They'd just clack those two together, and you could just hear them out there. Really a lot of fun. Neat places, neat memories. So now I'm coming back with my sky colors, and I'm using some of the darker shadow of the clouds, because as the clouds go down, they're going to be darker. Just the sun is hitting just the tops of the clouds. So these sky holes are all going to be darker. And these Monterey Cypress are airy trees. There's a lot of kind of sky holes coming through, so we can put those in. Now up here I'm going to show the trunks. Let me get my... Now here we're going to see a little bit of that sun hitting the clouds. And now I'm going to bring my trunks in. This is a mixture of my mud plus a little cadmium orange plus white. Again, I don't want these to be just terribly, terribly dark. I just want to indicate these. I don't want a lot of detail back here because we don't want our eye to just fly back to this area. We just want these to be here. Now I have a little sky hole up there that I didn't get covered, so I need to do that. So let me just bring a little color in here. There we go. I got paint on the handle of my brush, so I wipe that off. Sometimes I lay my brushes down on the palette and they roll into my paint, so I have to be careful to catch that, or else I'll end up with paint all over my hands and my face and everything else, and that's a mess to clean up. So that's another reason I keep my brush wiped a lot, and then I throw the tissue away. I only use it for about 3 wipes, and then I throw it away, because if you use it any more than that, then you end up getting too much paint on there, and it comes off of the tissue and onto you, and again, it just gets paint everywhere. Well, let's see, these trunks will come down here. These are really tall trees, just very majestic. And then the ones actually by the ocean, they shape them, and you know which predominantly the wind will come off of the ocean. And so that part of the tree is flat, and the other side of the tree grows out. It almost looks like people with their hair flying back. Now we're going to go ahead and do these trees over on this side. And I've let some light hit the clouds back here so that it will accentuate this side of this tower, the bell tower there. And so I'm going to Make these trees a little bit lighter in here. And by painting the trees wet into wet over the sky, it allows me to make those branches coming out very soft. So I want those edges to be soft so they just go into the background. Now, I don't like the shape of that. I went too high here. I don't like that rounded shape. We're going to have oak trees over on this side that are rounded, but these need to be more of my Monterey Cypress with those kind of tentacles coming up. So I'm going to take some of my cloud paint and just come back down here and paint that out. And I'm just kind of laying the paint on. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come back and scrape most of that green off of there so that when I put my sky color up there, it won't pick up so much of that paint and dirty it. But again, I'm just kind of carefully laying my color over because you can see how I pick up some of that green on my brush. So I have to be real careful here as I'm doing this. But I want that little part of the this front of the building to pop up. Now I'm going to bring some of my light back here. Just feather those brush strokes. Again, I want that to transition between those two colors to be softer. And I'm going to bring a little color down here. And this again is now I'm going back with some of my darker sky color. See, I can just take that green paint that's still stuck to the canvas and work it in here. And that just drops it back. That just softens it. Okay, I've got one little spot I want to remove there. Right here. There we go. Need one more little brush stroke, and again, I'm just going to kind of drag this down into the trees. And then I'm going to wipe my brush, get a clean brush, and then I can just drag that, and that was just a kind of hump in that brush stroke I wanted to smooth out a little bit. Now this tree I don't mind if it's a little bit higher. And again, I can just bring some of my sky color, my darker shadow, darker cloud color. Again, I just want I want these real soft back here because that cross is going to come over them, and I want the hard edges of the cross to come forward. So this is again one of those basic rules that we use in painting to give the feeling of depth. Soft edges go back, hard edges or sharp edges come forward. So that cross is going to be very distinct. The edges are going to be very hard, so that will come forward of those soft trees in the background. Now I want to soften some of these edges a little bit, extend those branches out. Some of them really go, they're just a neat tree. If you ever get to California, go to the Monterey Bay area. It's just, oh my goodness, Carmel and Pacific Grove and those areas are just wonderful. That ocean is amazing. Again, I just want to soften those edges so those trees go back. We're going to add a little more of that phthalo blue in here. And I'm going to bring in a little bit more over on this side. And there's our Monterey cypress trees. Thank you for visiting my studio today. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you watching my videos. I also have a blog. The link is in the description below. Also, it's on the final frame of the video along with my official website. Please do feel free to visit the blog. I will show the complete step-by-step process of this painting as well as others I do. If you want to see the finished image of the paintings that you see in the videos, again, that's on the blog. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, and happy painting.